All right, so we're clearly having technical difficulties because it just sucks. I usually don't do this from home or from the phone, so I do apologize. But hi, Meach Musings is on the air. Welcome. Glad you could be with us. God help you in advance, or whatever you believe in. Doesn't bother me. All right, I don't know why that um did that just now. Let's see if I can get out of that without leaving. Oh, I can. Okay, cool. Where the hell is my chat? There it is. Cool. Anyway, hi, Jeff Meacham here. Happy Monday, or Tuesday rather. It's October 29th. We are 2 days out from Halloween. And I am unable to appear with the usual team on Saturday, but there's been so much news breaking here just in the last day or so. I figured, okay, let's muse about it. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it with anybody that wants to, hear my thoughts on the goings on, and then we'll do the plugs, and then we'll get off the air because coming up at the top of the next hour, of course, our friends over at NoDQ.com will be live with the NoDQ review, and I may or may not be a part of that. We're hoping not. We're hoping everybody that is scheduled to be on that show is on that show. Sorry, guys, that's really invasive. That's extreme close up. Damn, I'm just not going to stay. We're going to get after about this, so that's fine. Peter is just not being my friend today, so I'm having to do what I have to do. Anyway, so let's talk about what I was really interested in when I first saw the news. I think I was heading home this morning from school drop, so that's where I first saw the news. So let's go ahead and talk about this new WWE independent development program, WWE ID as they're calling, and I'll go ahead and basically, they put out the press release earlier. So let me see if I can make this bigger so I can actually read it. Ha, there we go. Cool. Yay me. WWE launches new indie wrestling development program. WWID is to identify, support, and develop independent wrestling schools and talent. Booker T's Reality of Wrestling, Cody Rhodes' Nightmare Factory, Seth Rollins' Black and Brave Academy among first schools to receive the official WWID designation. What I take away from this, what the hell's my? I can't even see how they make this thing go away. Oh, geez. This is just not happening. Oh, Lord. I have no idea if you guys can. Jeez, I hate mobile doing. I hate this doing. There we go. Good Lord. This is why I don't do this shit unless I'm on the computer anymore. Okay. Basically, it seems to me that WWE is trying to move up a turd. God, this is so ridiculous. It's so embarrassing. It's so unprofessional. All right, let's try this again. WWE essentially is trying to. Oh wow. Okay, I lost my background. That's what that does. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know because I'm really not a fan of the whole background thing. I just like the fact that fits in that space. We're going to go ahead and do that. I like that better. All right, who chatted me? What it is? Yeah, I mean, the Dodgers are going to be on here. We're going live actually with coverage over at our friends at the Simply Reliable Studios. Excuse the hell me. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. All right, anyway. So if you guys want to click this and get me support so I can have better equipment, that'd be great. Anyway, what a clusterfuck. Anyway, so basically what's happening is the WWE is starting to really hammer down on basically I'm trying to how to phrase this without, I mean, there's no way to phrase it sound like an ass. They're basically really driving home the fact that they are the premier brand in professional wrestling, and they are garnering, gathering allies on the independent circuit. Even though we all know the Reality of Wrestling and the Nightmare Factory and Seth Rollins School have all been sort of feeders, I guess, for lack of a better term. People forget back in the day that OVW was a designated developmental territory, as was Heartland Wrestling, as was for a time UPW out here in Southern California. I think with the rise of NXT into a definitive third brand of WWE, where I mean, those are like the top tier. Like, okay, these are the folks that are going to be on TV in a year, in 2 years, maybe even less than a year. They really need to start having more uh, schools and more wrestlers kind of in the system, on the radar. And there's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad with that. If you're a fan of independent wrestling, it really it's kind of hindering in a way, only because, and it was brought up by one of the independent promoters. They took, I think, maybe 15 minutes to throw out a reply on X, on Twix, about, I'm gonna keep things the way I am. That's good for you, bud. But he also, in his own statement, pointed out, maybe I'm, just, I'll wait and see what happens. Well, if you're gonna wait and see, don't throw a comment out like that quickly, because then you just look like an asshole jumping to conclusions, right? So I'm very much a wait and see person these days. I try very hard to be, anyway. Kind of have to be as a parent, I guess, to a certain extent. But I'm hopeful that, there we go. Actually, that does look better. Let's go ahead and take the overlay away for now, just so we got one person actually commenting, kind of silly about the overlay on. I think that here's my major problem with it. If TNA joins the system, then maybe I can understand a little bit better. But by that same token, if TNA joins the system, are they really the alternative they've always claimed to be? AEW was supposed to be the alternative 5 years ago when they launched, and they remained that way for a while. And now they aren't. They're just there. And I'm going to bring AEW up later when I talk about NXT 2300, because they're going to be brought up. It's going to be a thing. I just wonder if these other companies around the world, like MLW, like New Japan, like the folks over in the UK and in other parts of the world, it seems to me that the WWE product, overall, has never been better. The in-ring work amongst the talent, I think, is better than it's been in many, many years. I think that the production values are just unbelievably better under the new regime. I think the presentation has improved by leaps and bounds. The business has never been better. Money's never been better, I think, within the company. So is an industry basically looking like WWE really the worst thing? I would love to hear opinions on this. I wish I was part of the panel presentation on it, but I can't be. I will be at the top of the hour if I'm called upon, but for right now, I'm not. I'm not going to be able to participate on Saturday because I will be away. I'll mention that here as we get to plugs. And I got to mute that. Sorry, folks. I'm being barraged with comments, messages from somebody who dear friend, but I'm working. Anyway, I ran on way longer about this than I wanted to, just because I keep interrupting and I keep stumbling around thoughts I didn't have them gathered. That's on me. Bottom line is WWE is really starting to establish that they have for lack of a better term, a territorial system in place. They've got developmental schools now. Booker's school, Cody's school, Seth Rollins' school. And it looks like they're trying to shape more independent wrestlers into the folks that they would be okay with presenting on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. What do you guys think out there? I mean, if you're watching this back on demand, please let me know If you're watching this, first of all, on demand, if you're watching with me live, please comment back. It's showing three of you are watching, which it's I'm pretty much talking heads, so I'm talking to myself, but I would be curious. All right, I do want to talk about this. There were unfortunately a couple of major injuries at the Impact tapings Sunday night, Sunday, the day after Bound for Glory. El Vikingo, as well as Chris Bay, both seriously injured. Chris Bay, much more so, apparently. Let me go ahead and make that bigger. Chris Bay is recovering at the hospital following surgery for the neck injury he suffered Sunday night, and he had an MRI procedure on Monday. He was resting in his hospital bed Monday, joking, talking about Bound for Glory and in good spirits. Chris will be in Detroit for a few days. Family members have joined him along with TNA Wrestling Management and wrestlers who are staying in Detroit. He's under professional care and supervision, and local medical staff has been in contact with his personal doctor. The Kingo returned to the Detroit hotel Sunday night after being treated at the hospital for a right knee injury. He's on crutches and wearing a leg brace. He then flew home to Mexico on Monday, where he will be examined and treated by his specialist. And TNA closed a statement on their website by good gravy, by thanking everybody for their continued thoughts and prayers, and they will update when available. And they asked us here at home to respect the privacy of Chris and Vikingo and their families and of TNA. I only wanted to bring this up, and I was gonna suggest the team bring it up on Saturday. That's up to them. It's really, really crazy how relevant this is. And I only say that because in both cases, the matches that these injuries occurred were in the style of matches. It's pretty valid. The injuries occurred in situations that unfortunately bring us back to the escalation in the industry and the fact that these guys and the gals just can't seem to help themselves from chasing that high spot rather than tell a story within a match. And again, I've never been a wrestler. I never will be a wrestler. I am just it's never going to happen for me. In a pipe dream as a kid, maybe, right? But I Chris Bay is an amazing wrestler. And it's very likely his career will be hampered, if not ended, by what happened on Sunday. The Kingo with a leg injury, he'll come back in all likelihood. But Chris Bay, another example of somebody who suffered a neck injury in wrestling, very, very unnecessarily. You hear most of the folks that have these long-term career-ending, in most cases now, thanks to medical breakthroughs, shortening or threatening career injuries, like Steve Austin, like Adam Copeland, like Soraya, like Brian Danielson. It's overall wear and tear, cumulative wear and tear. But folks like Big E and now Chris Bay, in the moment. Austin's injury was in the moment in 1997. That preliminary wrestler back in I think it was the 80s, maybe early 90s, that Marty Jannetty hit with the rocker dropper, paralyzed him. Chuck Austin, I think is his name. Forgive me, I am so sorry if I don't remember your name. That's my bad. But more so now than in 1997 or over the course of the careers I mentioned, and especially back in the 80s with the rocker dropper situation. Those kind of matches, those kind of moments are great in the moment, but things like this happen, and I get it. Injuries happen. I get that it's always haha that it's not ballet. These ballet dancers don't around either. All right, they are tough as nails. It's not tiddlywinks, is what should be. Although you can take an eye out with those stupid pogs. It's not for the weak physically, for sure. But I think, especially in Chris Bay's case, I think with a little bit of hindsight now, after a couple of days, maybe don't go for the overabundance of high spots and the high risk factors because stuff like this happens. And again, I'm very much on a soapbox right now, and that's, that is what it is. But I think it's important to bring it up because talented kid like Chris Bay is now facing what could be the end of his career. Talented guy like Big E may never come back. Is there really a need to do a suplex like that on the outside of the ring with no bounce to get yourself over, along with Rich Holland's help? Getting the guy over for a throw over suplex. I don't think it's necessary. And now Big E's sidelined, maybe for good. Chris Bay may be sidelined for good. It's just unfortunate that no matter how much we talk about it over the years, no matter how much it's brought up, no matter how many precautions we put in place as wrestling promoters, and I say we like I'm still doing it, as many safeties are put in, shit like this happens, and it doesn't need to, right? It just doesn't need to. And I hope I'm wrong about Chris Bay coming back. I really there's a there's a donation account. I don't know if it's through GoFundMe or one of the other ones, but if you have access to it, please donate and get Chris all the care he needs. Again, it's talked about it for years. These guys aren't 100% insured or covered, or however you phrase it. So there it is. On the subject of TNA, this is where I'm going to get a little snarky toward the wrestling journalists of the world. Which, as much as I appreciate MJF calling me a wrestling journalist, I'm not. I'm a fan who has an opinion. That's a big difference from a journalist. And a lot of these folks that call themselves journalists don't know how to make it to differentiate. So it was put out there a lot in the last few days, last week or so, that AJ Styles was offered a induction at Bound for Glory in the TNA Hall of Fame, and WWE was told TNA that wasn't going to happen. And it was reported, it was out there, and it just kept getting out there. And finally, AJ himself saw one of the many posts and decided to clear the air. AJ said, "I'm still an active wrestler, I hope," with a little pause in between. "I made the decision not to go in the TNA Hall of Fame, not WWE. I made the decision, not WWE. I appreciate TNA, but I don't want to go into any Hall of Fame as long as I'm still active. My choice." So I don't know if he is a voted in member of the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame. I'm pretty sure he's a NoDQ.com Hall of Famer. I'm pretty sure the fans of the members of NoDQ actually voted him into the NoDQ Hall of Fame. But as far as the active wrestling Hall of Fames that there's ceremonies for, and there's a whole big to do that the wrestling companies actually recognize TNA and the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame in Iowa and the WWE Hall of Fame. AJ's made it clear he does not want to be part of that until he's no longer active. Flair did it in 2008 twice. If you count the NWA Hall of Fame that year, Sting is in the TNA and WWE Halls of Fame, excuse me, still active in AEW until early this year. So AJ made the choice. So to any supposed journalist from any credible wink website, once again, guys, do your freaking homework. As Russo told Josh Mansfield on our old show, do your homework, bro. It's so easy to get a straight answer out of somebody if you ask that person, rather than just take a story that was put out there by one supposedly knowledgeable or credible person and running with it. It takes so little energy to stay accountable. I don't understand it. I don't. It's really bothersome to me because it makes people like me, it makes people like Aaron, who just post this news as news because it is a news making situation when these things apparently happen. And then it's like, nope, we were just wrong and we look like jackasses now. It's so stupid. Just ask, hey, AJ, did you get offered the Hall of Fame? No? Okay, cool. I'm only about talking about it. That took me, what, 4 seconds to say? Fuck. Like, it's so dumb. All right, that's enough of that one. I do want to talk briefly about NXT 2300, which of course is next Wednesday, a week from tomorrow on the CW. And of course, they'll have our coverage. My buddies over at the Simple Audible Studios will have their thoughts um, on the show. But what I am finding fascinating is that other than on the AEW social media, and of course during broadcasts on TBS and TNT, you're hearing about this week's AEW show, which is Friday night. Friday Night Dynamite, as they're calling it. But I'm not hearing a whole lot of existential chatter, like outside of the box chatter about Friday Night Dynamite. I'm hearing about 2300 all over the place. Everybody's talking about NXT making its debut in the old ECW arena. And I think that more than anything is indicative of just how far behind AEW has fallen and how much stronger WWE and specifically the NXT brand have become. And I applaud Shawn Michaels. I applaud Triple H, and I applaud everybody at NXT for the fact that that is happening. I think that's so cool that these young guys and girls who probably were ECW fans, or at least they, if they were wrestling fans, they've definitely heard of ECW, right? So I think it's cool that they're going to get to perform in one of the most infamous wrestling settings in the entire history of wrestling. The old ECW arena, of course, it's not called 2300. I mean, they're branded it NXT 2300, which is cool. I'm looking forward to next week's show. I'm looking forward to watching Dynamite if I'm here tomorrow. I may not be here tomorrow. I may be going to the Kings game. The Kings come back home. They're in San Jose tonight, actually. They're playing the Sharks up at the STAP Center. I know I said what I said. And then they're home tomorrow to play Vegas. So I may be there. But if I do get to watch this week's show, I'm looking forward to watch. Yeah, they announced that Don Marie's going to be on NXT 2300. I'm curious how that's going to go. I remember Dawn was part of a lawsuit. She sued the company for wrongful termination due to her pregnancy back in 2000, and I think it was 5, maybe 6. It was during the first one I said that she appeared at Lance Storm's side while she was carrying her child. So I don't know, obviously that it was settled from what I understand back at that point, but it looks like tensions have swept over enough where she's returning and she'll be at the ECW arena next week. It bums me out for AEW that their big promotionals are just not getting a big, a more, a broader awareness from the casual fan. So it's a bummer. And I know NXT moving next week is very much because of the election on Tuesday. I can't believe elections next week. That's crazy that we're already at the point of election day is a week from today. Just crazy. I can't stress enough how important it is. Everybody get out there and vote, please. Especially, and obviously, if you're watching in the US, please get out and vote. If you haven't already, if you have the opportunity to vote early, do it, man. Just get it done and have your voice heard. Have your wishes be part of the process. It's so important. It really is. What also is important is that our friends over at Bat Productions released their brand new Halloween fan film, The Last Nightmare Part 1, last Friday. I do again want to apologize to my buddy Braden for the interview not going out Friday. I came home to a power outage Friday afternoon after dropping Dylan off with his maternal side. So I came home to a massive power failure. I had to call the power company. It was just a whole big to-do, and it was crazy. So I do apologize to Braden for not getting an interview out, but I encourage everybody to click on that QR code and check out The Last Nightmare Part 1. Also, go back and watch Haddonfield Nightmare if you've not seen that yet, because you will be confused as all hell. But don't take my word for it. Got a lot of people talking about The Last Nightmare Part 1. Let me get the thing up here. Danny Deathray from Late Night with the Davies says The Last Nightmare Part 1 ramps everything up a notch. Brutal Myers score that sucks you in, and powerful performances throughout. A must watch for fans of the Halloween franchise. Of course, you've got the opinion of, let's see if I can read this one more time. There we go. James Coleman over at God, Columbus. I can't read that. I'm so sorry, James. Braden and his team have crafted a wicked, fun, and bloody sequel to Haddonfield Nightmare that pulls you right back into Haddonfield and refuses to let go. And then some jabron from Canadian Country, who happens to have his own podcast, said, yet another must-see from Bat and Tall Story for any Halloween fan and H2O lover. And I 100% mean that when I say it. It was so much fun to watch. Yeah. Hi, Josh. Let's say that first next time. And second of all, I'm not bringing up the old man because, number one, it wasn't donated or super chatted. I know you're strapped for money. It's not just you. I have no interest in talking about it. I just don't. Just not interested whatsoever in talking about anything that man does. Just not. I'm not going to. They can talk about all they want on the other shows. I'm good. But if it happens, great. You won't be seeing me actively, purposely watching anything produced by that company. Anyway, please, everybody, go check out The Last Nightmare Part 1. It is now available on YouTube for free. Absolutely free. At that QR code. Go check it out, please. And let Braden and the team know what you think about this latest fan film sequel to the continuation of the H2O story of Halloween. Also, again, as I mentioned, the top of the hour, the WDQ review will be live. They'll be talking about what happened on Monday Night Raw. There you see the scene right there. It was interesting. And Josh, that was the point. As far as the hat goes, that was the point. I bought it specifically to wear beginning today and all through next week and beyond. Of course, at the bottom of the next hour, so 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, Stat Boy Mike will be live. I believe Walter will be joining him as well. I could be wrong there. With Game 4 coverage of the 2024 World Series. The Dodgers are up 3-0. This could be the night for the boys in blue of Los Angeles to take it home. They could wind up winning the World Series in Yankee Stadium, and it would be a definitive win. And I am looking forward, for the record, to seeing the Yankees fans and the rest of Major League Baseball fans going, oh, another fluke win like 2020. It wasn't real. Well, up yours, assholes. If it's a sweep, it's a sweep. So shut the fuck up and deal with it. I'm an Angels fan first and foremost, but I'm an Angelino. Go Dodgers tonight. All right. As I mentioned, Wednesday night, tomorrow night, Super Rebel Studios will have their watch-along coverage of Fright Night Dynamite, and that'll be live right at that top of that 8 o'clock hour at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. So please check that out. That would be nice if they could both lose. As far as you mean the baseball game? No. I thought you meant the election. No. But yeah, screw the Yankees. Yeah, there you go. Attaboy, Josh. Very good. Anyway, Wednesday night, Friday Night Dynamite. That's coming up tomorrow. Thursday night, After Impact, 10:30 Eastern, 10:30 Pacific. The Simple Man brand, the Super Rebel Studios, will be simply predicting Crown Jewel. And of course, Crown Jewel will be on Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific. God help you, poor bastards. It may be 12 noon, 9 Eastern, but the graphic in the watch along trailer says this. So I'm going with that until I'm told otherwise. I will not be part of the Crown Jewel coverage. I will be right here at the Peacock Theater on Saturday with a celebration of 60 years of Days of Our Lives. We'll, of course, be mourning the loss of our dear Drake Hodgson, who passed away just a couple weeks ago. to pancreatic cancer. So I will not be part of Crown Jewel coverage, but I encourage everybody else to be. Also, if you're in New York City, much like if you're in New York, much like the Dodgers are, check out Drag the Musical while you're back there for the World Series. You can get your tickets to the New World stages over on West 50th. You can click that QR code, see my buddies Ariel and Jazzy in the band on stage for Drag the Musical. So check that out, please. And of course, if you're in the area, wherever these ladies are and gals, and actually Wednesday night, they're going to be at Madison Square Garden. I can't believe that's a thing. My buddy Rocky Rose is going to be part of a presentation that will include a performance at Madison Square Garden. It's so cool. I'm so happy for her. QR code for the concerts for CindyLauper.com can be clicked right there as well. So yeah, check out all my friends doing all the things in the next few weeks. I'm so happy for them. I mean, that's valid too. Definitely screw the Yankees on principle. Matt doing great, better than I deserve, buddy. I tell you what. Very excited about everything that's going on right now, professionally and personally. So yeah, check out everything going on. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was kind of a cluster at the beginning, so I do apologize for that. But that will do it right here over on Meach's Musings. Easy for me to say. Blah, blah, blah. So thank you guys very, very much. We will catch you next time. Again, coming up here at just about a half hour or so, give or take, the No DQ review. And of course, at the bottom of the next hour, game 4 of the 2024 World Series. Until next time you see me, I am the Meach. We'll see you next time.